What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. I come to you with some sad news. But it seems like we done got used to the sad news. It's just news now, right? In Maryland, my state, just up the road from me, not even 40 minutes, a black man was killed by his white neighbor. A black man was killed by his white neighbor in cold blood. The white neighbor admitted that he did it when questioned by the detectives. While this white man who killed his neighbor, while he was doing it, the black man's sister was doing a YouTube or social media tutorial about something she does. She's a social media influencer or whatever. And you can hear the gunshots from her video. She had no idea that when she was recording her video, that the gunfire that she heard was her brother being murdered by the white neighbor for whatever reason. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the name of this black man, because it's very important when you hear the name of this black man, because I'm calling him a black man because he's a black man. But the white man that shot him, when he killed that guy, I'm pretty sure all he saw was an African. That's all he saw. He didn't see a Jamaican, didn't see an FBA, didn't see an ADOS, didn't see a Pretendian, some indigenous, fictitious group of people that never existed ever. Didn't see that. Didn't see a black Brit. He saw a black person. He saw an African. He saw one person. Because to them, we all look the same. We actually do all look the same, be honest. I mean, to them, but killed this man in cold blood. And while we have these white people who are currently losing all of the remaining mind that they have, and every day these white people indiscriminately get up and kill black people, they don't ask that black person, "Are you African?" before I kill you. They don't ask you, "Are you a good nigga?" They don't ask you, are you Jamaican? They don't ask you, "Are you FBA?" They don't care. See, all that stuff that we like to split ourselves up into, for whatever stupid ass reason that we keep doing it. And keep in mind, this whole tribe, because it's tribalism. The xenophobia that we are displaying, that FBA and ADOS is displaying, is the exact same tribalism that they in turn blame their brothers and sisters, the other Africans, for participating in on the continent. We African Americans also participate in even further tribalism with our gangs in our neighborhoods. So we keep niching down and splitting ourselves up to more and more smaller and smaller, less effective groups of people, so that we have zero power in the grand scheme of things. And we don't have time for this shit, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to talk a little bit of shit now and then. You like barbershop talk, talking shit, football. It's cool when you're talking shit about light stuff. But see, this shit is serious. They want to kill us. Do you understand? They're not like us. They're not like us. When we say they're not like us, that actually means something. You gotta take in consideration what that actually means. We have white people who will get in a car and drive 10 miles to go find a black person to kill. Right? We have white people that will travel across the country because where they live, there's not enough black people. They're afraid of black people in a place that don't have black people. So they will drive to where black people are to kill them because they're afraid of them. They will go to where apparently they're afraid of, to people they're afraid of, and kill them for whatever reason. So they can be patriotic. Because they're race soldiers. They're trying to save the white race from black people who they see as taking over the planet. We are their arch enemy. They don't want to compete with us. On top of that, there's a black mayor in Alabama. I'm gonna put these two clips up there. I'm gonna put the clip up there so you can see. Black mayor in Alabama. He won the election. This is America, right? For all you FBAs, you want to be black American. You want to take Africa off, right? You want to attach America. You ain't never been American. You have never been American. You have never been accepted as an American. You will never be accepted as American unless you're playing sports, unless you're in an arena, unless you're doing something that benefits them. That's when you're American. You're only American when your black ass decide you want to be African all of a sudden. That's when all out of the woodwork, they're like, oh, no, we're American, you're American. They claim us like we're their property. See, when they say we're American, what they're saying is we own you. You belong to us. You're our blacks. You're our black people. You belong to us. You're our property. They still look at us as property. Property that is getting out of hand. Property that's taking over. They don't like that. How many more are these random white people going? How many more times do we got to hear these random white folk for no reason just killing black people? Killing. Just randomly just killing them. And we sit here and we take it. We take it. Yes, black people, we can cope with anything. We've been coping with shit for hundreds of years. But we don't have to cope with that shit anymore. We're not at a place where we have to cope. We can do something about it. But one thing we have to do, we have to stop fighting each other. Stop fighting black people that look like you. And here's the funny thing about the dumb shit, right? For all you black people who go out your way to beef with black people, because you got all this smoke and all this energy for all these black people, right? But in the 90s, in the early 2000s, you ain't have no smoke for them Latinos. You ain't got no smoke for them Asians. You ain't got no smoke for these white folks. You ain't got no smoke for none of them. You only got smoke for black people because they're different. They're different. So all of a sudden now we got problems because they're a little different. How different are they? Because they got a little accent? Because they use palm oil instead of canola oil? Because they pounding yam instead of mashing potatoes? Is that what it is? Is because they crushing up their okra instead of chopping it up? Huh? Is that what it is? What is it? What's so different that got you so riled up? Got you so in your feelings that you make it your business to only, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you got all this fighting energy and passion to fight other black people. While we got white people who just wake up and go kill a black person. We already know they're unstable. We know that. These things that we know. When you got information, you're supposed to do something with it. Don't just know it and don't do nothing about it. You're supposed to know it. There's a black mayor in Alabama. He won the election. The white mayor and the white cabinet that he had physically did not allow him to take office because he was black. This is America. But you keep thinking you American, right? Now, for all intents and purposes, African Americans are the real actual Americans. We are the true Americans. We are really the true patriotic Americans. Us, African Americans. This country, as it's designed, really is us. Everything good about this country is us. Everything good about this country is us. But guess what? We can take us and go anywhere and create the same thing. Everywhere black people go, we create. Everywhere we go and we're allowed to build and thrive, we create. Everywhere. We're left alone. But you see, these white folks, they're not going to leave us alone. They say they want us to go back to Africa. But when we want to go back to Africa, guess what they do? You can't go back to Africa. What you doing? You're an American. They don't want us to go. But they want us to leave. They don't want us to stay. But they want to come with us. And because there's some weird parasitic, it's a fatal attraction, is what it is. White people have a fatal attraction with black people. It's legitimately a fatal attraction. On the left and the right, it's a fatal attraction. And there's nothing we can do to change them from being the beasts and the barbarians and savages that they are naturally. They're just naturally like that. There's no changing them. They have been the same group of people for 5,000 years. Their entire existence, this is what they do. Kill, murder, death, destroy, enslave. That is their culture. That's the culture. That's them. Even their mythologies pre-Christianity. Death, destruction, murder, mayhem, steal, kill. Even their gods, even their mythologies. Death, murder, destruction, kill, rape, hurt, harass, everything. Enslave. That's them. It's not me being racist or hyperbolic. This is a fact. This is just true. So with all that being said, how is it that we got all this energy for these when the last time you heard an African just going over there shooting his African American neighbor? When the last time you heard a regular old Jamaican just going across the street, you know, and just opening fire on an African American? That's not. We're not talking about gang stuff. That's the exception to the rule. We're talking about regular people. What has any African immigrant ever done to you FBAs? Not a goddamn thing. The worst thing that ever happened to you is you had a bad conversation with one. Worst thing. That's the worst thing. But you got energy. You got all this energy. But they over here killing us. See, that's why I can't live in a white neighborhood. That's why I can't move to one of these neighborhoods. Because I don't know if my white neighbor is gonna come and just murder me for no real reason. Because he likes me. He can murder me because he likes me. He can murder me because he don't like me. It doesn't even matter. He can murder me because he's jealous of something. And he can just randomly do that shit. Now this man, which I said, pay attention to his last name. Pay attention to his last name. This man is gone. Father. You know, the daughter no longer has a father. So now the daughter has to be traumatized for the rest of her life. And there's a video where she can hear the sound of her father dying. That's going to circulate around the internet forever. The sister, traumatized. She's a YouTuber, social media person. In her video, her craft, her art, what she does for fun and for money, she has a video recording. She can hear her brother dying. Gunshots. Bow, 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 bow. Because of a white guy. And because of his mental illness. And this country doesn't even care about mentally ill people because they don't do shit about it. White people can get up and just go shoot. Listen, this country will allow a white man. Listen to this. This country will allow a white man to go into a school, right, and murder children. Our politicians will allow mentally ill people to go into schools once every couple months and murder 10 children here, 20 children here, 5 children here, and do absolutely nothing about it, simply so that the NRA can give them money so they can win their re-election. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. Money for re-election. Money so that individual can maintain the little bit of pseudo power that they actually have. That's why injustice in this country is allowed to fester. That's why the white man can go and kill his own people and the government don't care. Because that's usually who dies. They kill their own people. But every now and then one get froggy and one go kill a black person. And nothing gets done about it. But yet, you got all these black people. You got no smoke for these white people. None. You don't talk about how they are the ones who enslaved us. You don't talk about what happened once we got over here. The torture, the actual enslavement. You mad about a couple chiefs and a few kings that got mixed up, a couple Cunarians, right? But you mad at the whole continent, but you okay with that white man. The offspring of the demon that brought you over here, that beat, raped, and murdered you. That still beat, raping, and murdering you right now. Right now. They never stop. The only thing that slowed them down was us fighting back. Imagine if we didn't do anything about it. Imagine if we didn't do anything about it. We would still be slaves. You think white people woke up one day and say, you know what, this is wrong, we should stop doing this? No. For every piece of freedom that any person that's not a white Christian male has in this country is because black people had to suffer with these barbarians and fight them for hundreds of years straight, and we still fighting them. But now we distracted because now all of a sudden we want to fight Africans. We want to fight Caribbeans who've been with us from the get-go. Caribbeans are us. Caribbean and African Americans, we are one, period. We all came over here together. You ever heard of a thing called the American slave trade? That happened after the transatlantic slave trade ended. That's when Dominicans, Trinidadians, Americans, well, African Americans that we call now Africans that were in America, and Jamaicans, all these plantations were corporations that were passing along their products to each other, mixing it up so they wouldn't get too comfortable. So a Jamaican is just as much as an African American as an African American is a Jamaican, to be honest. But y'all bypass all that real history that connects us so you can fight over superficial, stupid shit. And we supposed to be adults, by the way. Keep in mind, we ain't in middle school now. We talking about adults that supposedly graduated high school. Some supposedly graduated college. Some are supposedly in higher education. Some supposedly are professionals in professional fields, government and business. But yet they so professional and they got all this and this and that. But they're so immature and childlike that they will fight with their brothers and sisters while we have the demons at our door killing us. And they don't care what country you was born in. If your skin is this color, then you are the op. Do you understand? Europeans are smoking on African packs right now, but you don't care. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I'm gonna put these two clips up. Pay attention to what country you in. Pay attention to who you dealing with. Pay attention. Prioritize who the enemy is. Who's the real enemy? We have actual enemies. This ain't no game. We ain't just talking here. This ain't for fun. I'm not Pan-African for play. This ain't fun. This is not for fun. All our revolutionary leaders, you ever notice their pictures, they ain't smiling? Because ain't shit funny. Ain't shit funny about this. It ain't no laughing matter. This is dead serious. This is deadly serious. You guys think it's a joke. You think it's cute and funny to get online and talk about your black people every day to give the white man some entertainment. You're a fucking fool and a clown. All of y'all. Both Africans, Caribbeans, and African Americans that sit up here on the internet and embarrassing the entire black race to entertain white people. And POCs who want to be white. While we got fucking enemies at our door blowing our fucking brains out because they got a fatal attraction with us. Anyway, without further ado, this is Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something, I'm out.
Maryland authorities have charged 36-year-old Nicholas Francis Xavier Giroux, white Baltimore man, with murder after he reportedly confessed to the tragic killing of his next-door neighbor, 27-year-old Isaiah Olugbemi, an aspiring black boxer and devoted father to a 2-year-old son. Olugbemi had won the National Golden Gloves title last month as one of the top amateur fighters in the country. He was at the top of his game. Giroux was ordered held without bond on charges of first and second-degree murder in the June 17 death and has been jailed at the Jennifer Road Detention Center since the day after the slaying. An Anne Arundel County judge scheduled Giroux's first hearing for July 17th at Annapolis District Court, where the suspect is expected to enter a plea. Giroux confessed to the killing during an interview with Anne Arundel Police June 18th, officials said, according to the Capital Gazette. Olugbemi was standing outside his house in Odenton when the gunman walked up to him and opened fire in cold blood, police said. Here's a tragic twist. The victim's sister, Maryland social media creator Rebecca Olugbemi, was filming a live makeup tutorial when her microphone picked up the gunfire that killed her brother right outside her window. Shooting occurred around 9:45 p.m. as Rebecca was demonstrating skincare products per a snippet shared on X by NBC Washington reporter Amy Cho. Watch. Imagine that.
The black mayor of a small Alabama town will finally be able to lead his community after being physically blocked from taking office by his white predecessors, pending final approval from a federal judge on a settlement agreement. Patrick Braxton, the first black mayor of New Bern, Alabama, filed a lawsuit alleging that the outgoing white mayor and his all-white town council changed the locks to the town hall, destroyed or removed town documents, and denied Braxton access to the town's mailbox and bank account. Now, under a settlement agreement reached by both parties in the case, the outgoing mayor Haywood Stokes and his council members must immediately grant Braxton access to all official documents, accounts, and town property needed to perform his job. The settlement declares Braxton as the lawful mayor of New Bern and grants him all powers, duties, privileges, and all other rights enjoyed by prior mayors and entrusted to the mayor of New Bern under Alabama state law. Also declares that the previous white town leaders' actions violated both the U.S. Constitution and federal law and must pay $40,000 in attorney's fees for this lawsuit. A federal judge must sign off on the agreement for it to officially take effect.